yes, 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 yes,
Yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes, yes.
feel incredible.
It's not a cartoon. It's anime.
Yeah. Oh, we're doing this now? Oh, we're doing it now.
All right.
Okay.
We got him to join us in the power up.
Felt good, didn't it? Felt
It
good.
did.
Yeah.
I see why they do it all the
Yeah.
time.
It's our
Welcome
day
to
like
another
that.
episode
They be screaming in them fights.
of AnimeSHUN. Special episode. We got a special guest, Tony Baker, everybody.
What's going on?
Yeah,
man?
applaud him up,
What's
man.
happening?
Yeah.
Yay.
We got Rob here. We got Brennan here.
What's up,
myself,
everybody?
Keenan Baker.
What up, though?
Ice will be back later.
Shout out to Ice.
Shout out to Ice. He's still on his birthday weekend tip.
Oh, birthday weekend.
Birthday
Oh,
week.
he's one of those, man. It's not
Yeah.
birthday.
People be
It's my
stretching it out.
birthday month, girl.
Oh, he doing that. My birthday month.
Right.
All right.
So we got Tony Baker on the show, man. We're gonna talk about a dope movie that came out earlier this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I have a question for Tony first, if we don't mind.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Tony, what is your relationship with anime in general? Like, what you know about anime?
Primarily, I was watching it more back in the late '80s, early '90s.
Mhm.
That's when I was renting movies and watching it. My first anime was Fist of the North Star, I think.
Oh, that's
I
a
heard of
super classic.
yeah,
classic.
that was the first one I seen. I was like, man, this is dope.
Yeah.
Because I was used to Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And people
Those
never
are
get
not
killed.
anime
and,
knockoffs.
actually, even before Fist of the North Star, I don't know if Robotech is considered anime.
I don't think I know that one. Brendan, you're the guy that I
Actually, I don't
usually
know.
look to.
Y'all don't know about Robotech?
I don't know shit about
I don't know,
Robotech.
Robotech.
Yeah.
Anyway, Robotech is like
Look that up.
Yeah.
that used to be a series that they would show, and it was like, to me, it was like, yo, people die on that show? Because I was used to G.I. Joe, Transformers, before Transformers, the movie, the first animated movie.
Right.
They never died. Nobody ever died. Lion-O never died on the Thundercats. He-Man and them never died.
Man,
So-
they should have
no.
died.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and raise the stakes a little bit.
Yeah,
so
it's a
Robotech,
drama.
I was one of the
People
stupid
would
cats to
die.
die on Thundercats.
Yeah, it says American-Japanese show, so I think it counts.
Yeah, it counts.
It-
That counts.
yeah, but then when I saw Fist of the North Star, that was next level. I was like, because it was like graphic, so I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, dude's getting cut in half, and I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
and,
American
and
animation.
even the villain
Yeah.
didn't even get beat. The main guy, he couldn't even beat him. I was like, wow,
That's
is
crazy.
next level. And
Yeah.
so, because my older brothers was like, they would always introduce me to stuff like that. Like I remember Heavy Metal, the animated
Oh
movie.
yeah, I remember that.
They introduced me to that, all that kind of stuff. And so, and then went from Fist of the North Star to other stuff, Vampire Hunter, Black Magic. Black Magic, there's a number associated with it. Was like the second one I saw that was really dope. It's kind of like on some Terminator type
Oh,
stuff.
okay, cool.
Really
He out
dope.
here with the classics.
Yeah.
He sent me a thing. Did you ever see Black Magic?
Yeah.
It's a dope one. And he checked the IMDb score and everything. He's like, oh, they trashed this shit. He gave it 5 or 6.
Yeah, it was like at the 6 point something on
Yeah.
IMDb.
Oh,
but
man.
IMDb is suspect
It's
anyway.
I
all
agree.
over the place
Yeah,
sometimes.
So,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
And so after that, Vampire Hunter D, Ninja Scroll was like my favorite
Ninja
anime of
Scroll,
all
of
time.
course,
Yeah.
everybody, yeah.
Then it was like Wicked City and this other stuff I can't remember the name of. So I was watching it heavy back then.
Got it.
But then I faded off, and then I would hear about Dragon Ball Z, but never tapped in.
Yeah.
Wait, so you've never seen episodes of Dragon Ball Z or anything
I
like that?
finally what was that? Last year, the year before?
Yeah, I got
I
him
kind of
started.
tried to start from the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
that had to be tough.
Oh,
Dragon
okay.
Ball Kai or Dragon Ball Z?
I think he, for some reason, started with Z, but I told him to watch Kai instead because Kai gets
He
you
don't be
through it
listening.
quicker. Yeah, he started what he started and then he was going. But Dragon Ball Z Kai is where you want to start because
It's just better.
it's better and it cuts out all the stuff and then it has the blood. Like all the original stuff is like Dragon Ball was like a pretty got bloody in there. But
Okay.
now you watch it, it's not really.
And just so
No,
you know,
it's
for
not really like that.
clarification, the way that the progression goes is it goes Dragon Ball Z. Then there was, after Dragon Ball Z, there was a couple different things that happened. The Dragon Ball GT
Yeah.
that everybody hated. It was like an offshoot of just like, this is the worst. And then there was Dragon Ball Super, which is relatively new. That actually just finished within the last year,
You had
which is really good.
You had Dragon Ball Kai before that, which came in there and pretty much took out a lot of the filler.
Okay.
for Dragon Ball Z. So
for Dragon Ball
Kai,
It's like the reboot of Dragon Ball Z.
they just
but
redid
they just
it.
took a
It
lot
was
of
like
stuff out.
I think Dragon Ball Z was like something like 200. Let's call it 250
But
episodes.
they just
Yeah.
it's Cliff Notes then.
Yeah, no,
Kinda?
it's kind of.
Yeah.
It's 250 episodes. They still had the same story,
Uh-huh.
but they made it in 100 episodes. And they also
Okay.
redid the voices, redid the animation.
Yeah.
They
redid
trimmed the
everything.
fat.
Yeah, there's a lot of
It's
fat.
outta here.
There was a lot of
Yeah,
fat.
there's a lot of fat.
It looks a lot more better. It looks
A
And
lot
they
more
updated
fat.
the animation too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
everything
Okay.
is great.
So they
Fine.
redid it, or did they just?
No, they
you know,
redid the whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's
and it was worth it
dedication.
though. That's what we're saying is like if you're gonna watch it,
Mm.
Dragon Ball, there's no reason at all to watch Dragon Ball Z.
So you can
Agreed.
still get the full story from the beginning.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
with
You get
Dragon
it.
Ball
Because like when
Kai.
they did Dragon Ball Z originally, they did throw in a lot of filler that wasn't in like the original source material and
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
That they were just like, all right, we just gotta like burn some time and like throw some stuff in these episodes to really stretch it out, I guess.
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
probably just like cut a lot of that stuff out. I
That's
imagine.
that's something that
Yeah.
happens with anime that gets really popular really fast. Is that the writers of the anime aren't keeping up with how fast the anime is coming out.
Right.
So they have to so then that means they have a separate team of writers pretty much that writes filler is what it's called to be able to
Yeah.
give these guys more time to develop the actual story. So
Mm.
you'll have like they call them arcs in anime. So you'll have an arc where it's like this is the Cell arc, you
Yeah.
know, where you watch this, you see this whole guy Cell and the whole battle between him, and then in between the Cell arc and the next arc, the Frieza arc or whatever, then there will be like let's say 10 episodes of something that has nothing to do with either one of them.
Bullshit.
But everybody normally people hate filler.
Yeah.
Because it's just bullshit. It's like, let's go look at the side character on an adventure to go buy groceries. You're like, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
care.
What a dinosaur got some dinosaur meat. You're like, bro, we don't care about this.
And they come out once a week too, so it's like you'll have 10 weeks or however many weeks in a row of filler where you're going to see the actual show happen and it just be like, this is trash.
They're not telling you like, look, it's about to be 10 weeks of filler. So
They don't tell you how
can
many it's
tune
gonna
out.
be.
So now you're sitting there every week. The action. You're not getting the action, bro.
That's
It's just-
whack, man.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It
That's
was-
my biggest note on anime in general. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah. Well, I think the anime now does a good job of not having a lot of filler in it.
I agree with that. New
Yeah.
anime
Yeah.
doesn't have that. This is like a 90s 2000s problem.
Right.
Okay.
We're in the 210s now, so it's better.
Yeah.
Things
I've been
have
off
changed.
the anime for a while, man. I've been
Yeah, well, I
off.
already know Tony. Every time I recommended anime to Tony, he goes, "Are they whining
Oh,
in there?
the whining, man. Because when I
Are
finally
they
did return,
whining?"
it was Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Wine country, man.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot of
Merlot.
But tell me,
Cabernet.
was it not intense?
Muscat.
Was it not intense though?
No.
You telling me seeing this man's mom get eaten in front of him wasn't
All
intense for
right.
you?
But still, the wine.
That wasn't intense.
All right.
I mean, he has a good reason to cry it up, but man, how long
But
do we have to
you
go
have
through
zero.
this?
Where's your empathy
What do you
right
mean?
now?
How long?
How long do we have to see him whining about it?
All I'm
for?
saying is, if your mama got eaten in front of you, you be a one episode whiner.
No, but
Every day you'll be thinking about like you'll have a nightmare like, oh mama, like, you gonna be.
I can see him waking up crying about it like, man, mom, stop whining and yelling every episode. Every episode?
It's not every. How many episodes did you see? It sounds like you
I
watched
watched
3.
the first,
like
whatever
you
they
watched
put
3 or
on
4.
Netflix.
He wasn't first season.
You watched the whole first season?
Yes.
Yeah.
I sat
Alright.
there and took the whining. I was like, man, come on.
They could have honestly had him like wake up, but like today I cried over my mother.
That's
And
it.
then-
That's all I need. We
Yeah.
get it.
They could have did that.
We get it.
But the thing is,
dog.
it wasn't that he was just crying over his mother. He's crying over his entire life. being
It's hard for
destroyed.
everybody.
He
I'm not
lost
gonna make it-
everything.
It's hard for everybody.
Everybody was whining.
Everybody's getting eaten raw. I get it.
Wait, what's the difference between getting eaten and eating raw?
Man, raw, just, you're getting eaten alive.
Yeah, you're not getting cooked.
Okay.
raw.
All right, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
not
you're
killed.
not
Okay.
dead
All
and
right,
then-
all right.
yeah.
I didn't know. I needed the clarification.
Yeah, man. So I was like, oh, all right.
I ain't gonna defend the whining on it. There was a lot of whining.
Man,
And I
it
was
was
like,
mad whining.
it's not as bad as the first season of My Hero, but yeah, it's a lot of whining.
I
Yeah, because I
wanna-
know you checked that out too, right? My Hero. And you were
I
kinda just
started
like,
it,
meh.
yeah.
And that's
And
the
I
thing
was
with
just
Tony.
like,
Like
I faded
that's,
out.
before Tony don't care about the action.
Told
he don't
you,
care
man.
about the love, the gore. He goes, "Are they whining?"
Demon Slayer, man. We just finished the show, Demon Slayer. I think Tony would like it.
Yeah, you'd probably like. I mean, at least until that one guy shows up. Zenitsu.
We're
He's
far enough
whining.
in at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
It's like 13, 14.
Yeah.
It's like
Once
12
the
episodes.
wine
in.
Yeah.
shows up
Yeah.
with the cheese and the crackers.
They go Tony
I'm
just
out.
baptizing himself out of it.
All I'm
Man.
saying is you're good for a solid 10, 11 episodes in this one.
Because I'm all about,
Absolutely.
like, my criticism with movies is, like, they never mourn enough in
Yeah.
movies because they don't have the time.
Right.
So now that
They
you
move
got
on.
episodes, we got the time to really dwell
Wait,
in
so
the
wait,
wine.
where's the
And then
window
they
for you?
overdo it.
They want to work through the
I need
5
that middle
stages of
ground.
grief.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, somewhere in
Because, like,
between.
in horror movies, they be like, they just lost their whole family, but they still.
They gotta
Right?
go.
They just like go outside, like, all right, well, we
Yeah.
gotta move on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's why I like Shaun of the Dead. Like, when his mom died, you felt it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You felt
That's
him
such a good
react to
movie.
it, but it was quick. They didn't dwell, but you felt it.
yeah, for sure. No,
And
that's a
so,
good movie.
Stuff like that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
That's a good middle ground. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, give me the pain real quick, but we ain't got the time to be like, ugh. All right, man. And when it's episodic, it was just too much.
So what we had Tony do then? We had Tony.
We all did.
We all did.
Mhm.
We had Tony. We all watched Dragon Ball Super again.
No, Dragon Ball Z.
That's the
You're
Broly.
talking about
The
the Broly
Broly
movie.
Broly movie.
It's not Dragon Ball Super. is it?
It's Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Dragon Ball Super Broly.
Not Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Dragon
Okay.
Ball Super Broly movie. And Tony got a chance to watch it the first
technicalities,
time.
right.
We watched it a few times. We actually went as a squad together to go watch it together. And now Tony got to watch it. He should have watched it on the plane.
Yeah, he showed up today.
I started
Look,
it on the
he
plane,
pulled-
but then I couldn't get comfortable.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I went to
We
sleep.
didn't
But
miss
no
ice.
excuses.
We didn't miss ice at all today because this man showed up late and didn't finish watching it.
Yeah.
He literally was ice today.
Yeah, because Ice normally shows up and he's like literally watching the rest of it when he
Oh,
shows
okay,
up.
so
and
y'all
he's
used to
late.
this.
But he's
So
usually
that's
on like
it.
the final credits.
Yeah,
You
he
had like
told
a
me, like-
solid 20 minutes
I had
left.
Yeah,
45 minutes left.
25
The
minutes left
pressure
in the
was
movie.
on. I was like,
I had Tony like, yo, bro, so we good for Monday still, right? He gave me the eyes, like the eye emoji, like, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
Monday.
And I was like,
What's
did
happening
you
Monday?
watch? Oh, how long is the podcast? How?
I was
He
like,
asked a bunch of
oh,
irrelevant questions. Like,
crap.
man, just watch the goddamn.
And then I couldn't watch it yesterday because it was Sabrina's birthday, so I was
Yeah.
hanging out all day. Then we went to a movie, so I was like, Dragon Ball. Yeah.
Tony ain't gonna wake up early for nobody.
Nobody, nothing. You gonna
Man,
show up
man.
late and say, you know, y'all get to just feel every piece, as you would say,
Man.
of
Yeah.
me sitting in front
'Cause
of
I
you
was
watching
gonna watch
this movie.
that at the movies. But
Oh,
I
what?
never
Yeah,
got
yeah,
around
yeah. I
to
think you ended up going out of town because you're gonna watch it with us.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Point, yeah.
But either way, we watched it.
Yeah. So, Rob, you want to
You
jump
want
into
to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, so this kind of starts off, even if you haven't watched Dragon Ball or any of them, they kind of give you like a flashback,
Right.
try to give you a semblance of
I didn't feel
who's who,
too lost.
right? I would think so. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear like
I was
what
just,
you were
you
able
know.
to pick up on it.
Yeah. What were you? How did you feel about like what did you think was going on in the beginning of this movie?
Yeah, because they start out on Planet Vegeta, right?
Yep.
So
Did they start out
That's
there?
the same. That's
Yeah.
where all the
Yeah.
Saiyans are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Saiyans live there.
No, before that, didn't they start? The guy was already in space, headed to.
yeah, because they're starting out on the Saiyan homeworld, right? On
Yeah.
Planet Vegeta,
Yep.
and it's like basically Frieza's showing up for the first time, like with
King
his
Cold
dad.
and Frieza. And
No,
they,
I
like,
think he's saying. I think it does start off with like
Before that.
It starts off with Frieza, kind of like.
He was already en route to the kid that was on the planet.
Was he
Right.
already there?
He was going. He was going with that whiny
Oh,
dude that he
I'll
had
tell
with
y'all in
him.
1 second.
Oh no, that was his dad, right? Because that was Broly's dad.
Nah, it starts off like he's right. It starts off on the planet where they show up and say,
Yeah.
"This is your new king," pretty much.
Oh, okay. And then
Yeah, he's basically like, I'm stepping down. My son is going to take
I'm
over
retiring.
power.
My son's
Yeah.
gonna take over.
And it's yeah.
and so then
Did you watch the beginning, Tony?
yeah, I watched it all.
Tony watched the last 20 minutes of the movie. That's all he watched when he came in here.
That's how I knew that he was going to the planet then.
So he comes to Planet Vegeta. This is where he comes to.
Yeah. So it starts off with Frieza and Frieza's dad getting off the ship, pretty much
Yeah.
at Planet Vegeta. So that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
Got you.
So they're basically arriving, and then King Cold's just like, I'm stepping down from the throne for whatever reason. He doesn't,
Doesn't
really
even
say,
yeah.
which doesn't make any sense. He still keeps the name King Cold, but
Normally, kings want to reign for a long time until like, oh, I guess I gotta give it to my son. He was just
Right.
like, I'm 32.
yeah,
You can have it, son. Like
pretty much.
I'm out.
he's
He's
still
just like-
he's still physically able to do the job, but he just doesn't want to.
And so
Yeah.
he took Broly to that planet.
Well, not quite yet.
Not
No,
yet.
so like Broly is still like a child at this point. He's
Right.
he's still like in his
Yeah.
like capsule, like
I think
his
it said
little baby
start off
capsule.
saying 41 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 41
Yeah.
years ago. This is like 41 years before like the current timeline of Dragon Ball, like where they're at.
Right.
Yeah.
This is 41 years in the past, and they're showing up, and he's basically saying like, "This is my son. He's a jerk. Like he's even worse than I am.
Yep.
Like you know, he's basically like Frieza on the show. He's like Space Hitler. You know, he's basically a racist to pretty much everybody.
You didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, and he's
Right.
like
A lot
showing
of
up like
monkeys and like, monkeys. Like, yeah.
you
It's a
calling
lot
them
of-
slaves and all that
Monkeys
shit.
and
like,
slaves.
Yep.
Yeah, because like they work for him, but like slaves is a strong word for that
It
relationship.
felt
I
like
guess.
it felt like indentured servitude.
Yeah.
You know, way better, right, guys? Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
But so he shows up on the planet and he's basically just like, all right, cool, you're working for me now. King Vegeta's there, Vegeta's dad, and he's just like, you work for me, and here are your new scouters, and all right, like I'll show you how they work. He pops one of them on. He's just like, you guys got snipers up in these towers. Boom, 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 takes him out like that.
Yep.
And then he kind of takes off on his way. He's just like, I'm leaving you this gift of these scouters, which end up being pretty much useless throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball. Like
So useless.
scouters
Wait,
are
there was a
constantly getting
there's a great moment though.
I mean, other than the 9,000,
9,000,
yeah,
That's a
9,000.
classic moment.
It's a classic moment.
that's the only thing they're good for. But he takes off, and from there, King Vegeta's basically just like, fuck this guy. We got to basically come up with a plan to overthrow him. Like when my son gets strong, he's gonna overthrow him. And he's kind of like, checking out Vegeta, who's still baby. He's in his baby capsule, and he's just like, wait, who's this other fucking kid over here in my son's room? Yeah. And so he goes over there, and they're like, oh, this is Broly. He's one of the kids of one of the other commanders in the army, and he supposedly has this like super high battle potential. Yeah. So that's why we got him here with your son.
And check him out with the scouter.
Honestly, I want to shout out to these scientists for being idiots. Like, we all knew King Vegeta has an ego. You could just tell. King Vegeta, this is like one of the very first times he's ever been shown in any of the Dragon Ball movies or Dragon Ball universe. And obviously my man has an ego, right? Like, he's walking around like, I'm the king of this planet.
He has a cape.
Yeah. He rocking around a cape.
Got a cape.
Exactly.
You got a cape.
So if you got a kid that was born that's more powerful than his kid who he's been doting over, why would you put him in the walking path to be able to go up to his kid? Like, he gonna walk by this. Like, why is this kid here?
Right.
Hiding that kid.
And the other thing that killed me is like when they zoomed out, there's like a whole, like there was like a pod of just kids all around.
Yeah, there's all kinds of kids in there.
Why did Broly get called out? Why is he the only one in the walking path?
Well, remember, they go with the scouters and they check.
No, man, I get that. But what I'm saying is they could have just put him over there to the right. And King Vegeta would have never known he was there. But he just happened to be in the walking path. Like, what is this child upon the, on
He's
the
in the room with
platform of
my son?
Children? Yeah, exactly.
It just reminded me of Coming to America. My son works. I don't know why I felt like it.
So they're basically telling him, like, well, he's super strong. He's got these crazy power fluctuations. So we think maybe he could help your son out someday. So we got him here. And he's just like, nah, I don't think so. Let's ship him off to some weird fucking planet in the middle of fucking
Bad
nowhere.
idea. We got to get rid of him.
Just get rid of him before he gets way out of control or something.
Nobody's
like
more
that.
powerful than
Not
that.
Call up his dad. We're going to tell him about it. But, like, after we're already doing it. So Broly's dad shows up in, like, the king's chambers, and he's just like, hey, so we're sending your kid out.
King Vegeta's like, yeah, and?
Pretty much. And he's just like, yeah, you can't do that. He's too young. He's like, that's what we do with all the kids, man. So, like.
He's like, but you only do that with the lower level kids. And he's like, yeah, but your kid is, he's special.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to send him out now. And by the way, the launch is happening right this second. So it's too late for you to do anything about it.
Yeah.
And Paragus, like, he's a pretty good dad. He jumps out the window to go hijack a ship to go get his son back. Like,
so that sounded dramatic, but he can fly. Let's just put that out there.
Yeah, true. Very true. Like, with Saiyans, they can fly.
They can fly.
They got all kinds of crazy powers.
Father of the year right there, man.
Yeah,
so
that's
far.
a good move, man. It's a good look.
The fathers in this movie actually look pretty good.
Yeah, would you do that for your son?
Yeah. Like, well, you send him with.
And Tony can't
Out
even
the
fly.
stained glass
He
window.
just hits the ground, dies.
I died right
I
there.
tried, son.
Splat. I was in the moment.
But they track him down to this remote plant out in the middle of nowhere. Paragus and this whiny dude. They're trying to track down
Always
Broly.
won.
He wasn't that bad.
He was whining the whole
He's
time.
because they show up on this planet and there's all these crazy strong bugs and shit. And he's just like, I'm not even a soldier. I'm not
He
supposed
got
to be out
blasted
here.
mid-wine.
Yeah, exactly.
What are we going to do? We're going to start the thing. Actually, we're not going to start.
Yeah. So they find Broly who's munching on some bugs already. He's already he's doing fine because he's strong.
Assimilated.
Yeah.
He's doing well, and with the other kids, he's playing nice. It turns out they crashed their ship on the way, and they're running out of food. And he's like, and Broly's dad is just like, well, we can save some food, but less mouths to feed. So
there's one teachable moment in this. Is for you, Mr. Baker. One of the things that is known through the Dragon Ball universe is that Saiyans all have very similar characteristics. Saiyans are always born with those tails that you saw them have, like monkey tails. And another thing is that Saiyans, when they look at the moon, as they were saying, they turn into these giant gorillas. That didn't happen in this movie. These giant gorillas that just destroy stuff.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of history of Dragon Ball. Goku, when he arrived to Earth, he was found by this man named Gohan. Who's like an older guy who raised him. And one of the things they found out, two things that Gohan found out is like if you ever grab a Saiyan's tail, while just their tail at all, they become completely immobile. Like they can't do anything. That's their weakness. Like they're just like, oh, you got my tail. All right, I'm sorry. So that's what Broly's dad did. As soon as he found Broly and he was being a little disobedient, he just picked him up and just grabbed his tail and he just went limp. The second thing is, like I said, they turn into that. And one of the tragic things that happens at the beginning of Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball is that the moon comes out. Goku sees the moon, and he literally crushes his grandfather Gohan.
Oh wow!
And so his first son that he has in the show, his name is he named him Gohan.
Yeah.
So little Dragon Ball Z history.
So he killed his
Yeah, he killed the shit out of him.
He
He didn't know he did it
Not
though.
his real grandfather either.
He's not. He's the one who adopted him. He's adopted.
Yeah,
But he didn't. But the thing is, he did it like he said.
that
in the
big of a
movie.
deal they're adopted? It's like he wasn't the real.
Well, he was there for them.
He was. He was. But he
He
killed
didn't
him
know.
on accident. He didn't know. They
Yeah.
lose their sense of self. They lose their memory, everything. So
Right.
he just woke up and thought something else did it.
Yeah.
But he's the one who ended up killing him.
So when they still do, they can control the
Nah,
ape out?
No, when they're aping out, they're pretty much just like spazzing.
Yeah, it's just like
there's some of them trained to a point where they can control
Yeah.
it, but
Right.
that's like
super high
advanced
level
shit.
elite.
Yeah.
shit.
Most of them can't,
Yeah,
especially
you
a
just
kid.
become a death machine that just
Yeah.
sprays.
So when they go full gorilla, are they unstoppable?
They're pretty.
You
I
have
mean,
to cut their tail off.
You can
Yeah.
basically until the moon sets or you cut the tail off.
Yeah.
Like they're hulking out.
Yeah,
like,
they're
the
pretty.
whole time.
They're I can't imagine. I can't think of one time in Dragon Ball Z any time where it's like a monkey happened and somebody was like, "Oh, no problem."
And beat the actual monkey.
No,
It's-
nobody-
The tail had
they're-
to be chopped off.
yeah,
but
you
they
gotta
didn't-
chop off tail,
but
otherwise-
physically they weren't beat. No.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful.
They're
Yeah.
undefeated then.
super strong.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're super. It's just like, just imagine like when you watch the movie Godzilla and Godzilla shows up, it's kind of like that. Where it's just like nobody's going to defeat Godzilla. It's like there's fights that happen, but nobody's going to win against
Yeah.
Godzilla.
Yeah. And so that's what they kind of think happened with Broly. That's why he's been able to survive on the planet so far. There's like he's been looking at the moon. So
Yeah.
Yeah, he just kept turning into the thing and killing everything.
yeah. So after Broly's dad, eliminates that dude, we get a little a time skip 5 years ahead as they're still chilling on that planet. But then we kind of get the origin of Goku in all this, where we see Frieza blowing up planet Vegeta because he's afraid of this legendary Super Saiyan coming at some point, which ends
Yeah.
up being Goku.
Goku ends up being the Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we get the Superman story where Goku's dad saves Goku. He's like, I have a feeling. He was smart. Bardock was actually, he was a warrior, but he was a scientist. Goku's dad was a scientist. So he's just a really smart dude. And he's the one who invented a way to be able to actually do fake moons, like take some energy, throw it up in the sky, and it fakes the energy of a moon that can make them turn into, if they were in trouble on the battlefield, they could just throw that up
Oh
there.
wow.
Yeah.
And they just turn into it. They don't need a moon. They just throw it up and like, all right, all y'all dead now.
Moonlight.
But either way, he was pretty much a genius Saiyan and a warrior. He saved his son Superman style, and then
He did. He sends his son off because he knows something's going on. He's like, I'm going to send him to Earth, where like there's a primitive species,
Yeah.
weak species. He should be able to do fine.
We out here
Right.
trash.
Oh man, they was dissing
We are
Earth.
out here
They really
trash.
were.
Low level planet. such
no
as that.
technology.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Bardock's out here with some conspiracies of his own. He's just like, it's Frieza. He's planning something. Like,
Yep,
Yeah.
he knows what it is.
There's some reason he's getting all of us here on the planet
And not
all at
landing
the
on the
same
planet.
time,
Right.
and it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And he turns out he's right because Frieza's just up there tapping his toes, like waiting for the moment before
Yeah.
he can just like throw his death ball down on this planet and end everything.
He's that powerful. He could just.
One
Yeah,
finger.
one finger. Yeah.
Yep.
Whoop. Yep.
Frieza is the most terrifying thing in the universe of Dragon Ball for the entire show up until Goku turns into a Super Saiyan, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up until then, Frieza runs the universe.
Yeah, because he doesn't like, he wants to kill. He likes killing. He likes destroying. He wants to be the emperor, or he is like the emperor.
He's
of
the emperor of the
universe.
universe,
Yeah, he's
straight
the
up.
emperor of the universe. Yeah.
Evil
Yeah.
emperor of the universe that
He's space
on Earth.
Yeah.
But the most of the Dragon Ball Z universe and Dragon Ball stuff happens on Earth. So Earth was an irrelevant planet, so nobody even knew anything about Frieza until Frieza shows, pretty much until actually Vegeta shows up for the first time.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I work with the Frieza Force. Like
Yeah.
Vegeta worked for Frieza when he shows up for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so after they blow up the planet, we do get like they cut over to a planet where we see Vegeta as a kid with Goku's brother Raditz, and
Yep.
they're kind of just like, we just got word that our planet just got blown up by a meteor shower or something like that, and they're just like, and none of that, like, there's no love lost between the
Nothing.
Saiyans.
Yeah.
Like they are a warrior race, like they're the Spartans from
They're
like
just
way
like, yeah, I
back
guess
in the
they
day,
did.
you know.
Yeah.
They're kind of just like, all right, cool. Like my dad's dead. I don't really care. Like
Yeah.
if they're kind of like if they died, like they were weak, then
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they should have died.
They
you know,
should have
pretty much.
punched the meteors.
Yeah. right.
Exactly.
That's how
They
easy
fault.
it should have been.
How did they not know that? There should have been sensors. Like, we should have
Right.
done something.
Yeah. And then we get the big time jump, the rest of the 41 years to present day, which, all the stuff of like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z and Super has happened at this point. Vegeta has come to Earth and he and Goku are rivals. It
But
starts
also,
out
like,
not
best
so
friends.
friendly, but now they're pretty much cool.
Yeah. they're
Yeah.
good.
They sparring it up at the resort.
Having fun.
Exactly.
Calling
Yeah,
each other
they're out at the the Hawaii resort. Yeah, just like
out
sparring
there
out in the
fighting
middle.
over the water.
Yeah, and
Looked like
they're-
a good time.
yeah, exactly. They're having fun.
It did look like a good time,
checking it
didn't
out.
It did. I
Yeah.
was like, man,
But I'll be
that's a
doing
good
all the time. I had that type of power. But you
Man.
want to go to a resort and fight?
Yeah.
And what's
Right over the ocean.
and they
Everybody
got
watching
Bulma
you,
there.
like,
And Bulma, Vegeta's wife, is like the richest person pretty much on the planet.
oh wow.
So,
Super tech.
lavish.
well, how
Yeah.
like in the movie, like they tap those little things and like he throws it on the ground and a house pops up.
Yeah.
That's the technology it's called Capsule Corp. That
Yeah.
made Bulma's family rich. Her dad invented that technology.
wow.
Yeah.
And so they sold it all over the world because you could put anything inside of these capsules that have no weight to them, and then it could be whatever you want it to be.
That's amazing.
So that's the technology that made them billionaires. So
Yeah.
that's who she is. She's the daughter of the guy who invented that technology.
Yeah, they didn't give Chi-Chi, they didn't give Goku's wife an invite to
Goku's
this
wife
resort.
is the
No.
most she is the most neglected woman in any show history of all time. Like Goku literally shows up, fills her with a few pumps a couple times, after Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball, she shows up when they first met. They fought. It was cute and all that.
Yeah.
But after that, she gets the pumps, gets the babies, gets out the show.
Yeah.
Man.
Like Goku is a grandfather. Like
Yeah.
he's got kids. He's got 2 kids, and a granddaughter,
Yep.
and none of them are around for this. You wouldn't know
Oh,
it
wow.
Yeah.
watching this movie that
He's
got
the
a
worst
family.
father
Yeah.
figure of all time.
Yeah, he's considered one of the worst dads.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Just
ever.
pumps.
Well, I'm just saying,
Just
like, how many
pumps.
characters you see in this movie, and how many of them were related to Goku?
1. You see Goten for a second.
Where was Goten?
He's on the phone with Trunks.
Oh, it's in the
Yeah.
background. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, because they're doing their whole training thing. Beerus is there, who's like the hairless cat, the purple hairless
Okay.
cat guy.
He's a
god
god.
of destruction that
He's a
they're cool
god?
with.
yeah, he's a
Yeah.
guy.
So he
Yeah.
can't be beat.
He
No.
can't. No, there was another movie where he and Goku went at it.
Yeah.
And like they pretty much implied that Beerus could have beat him if he wanted, but he's kind of like, it's just kind of cool to like have a challenge for the first time in a long
Yeah,
time.
Beerus,
So-
Wow.
Beerus said this is the first time anybody ever pushed me to like 10% of my power or past 10% of my power.
To 10%?
Yeah.
Yeah, Beerus is he's like, so side note, Beerus is the purple cat,
Right.
but then the angel, the person who stands next to him,
The
the one
little
with like
staff.
the whisk,
It's like his
With the
with the
assistant.
staff, that's his assistant, but technically that dude's way more powerful than Beerus too.
Yeah, but he just doesn't.
Wait,
like,
his assistant is more
he's
powerful than
He
considered,
him?
is.
he's considered an angel.
Yeah, so there's like a god and an angel.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
But the angels like they
So how's
they,
the angel more powerful than
they
the
watch
god?
over the god.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they like the whole job of the angel to train the god of destruction, because the god of destruction brings balance to the universe, because the
Right.
universe is bountiful and brings out all these things. So he has
Yeah.
to be like, I have to destroy a certain amount of things so the universe doesn't get overpopulated. It's kind of like Thanos.
So all that, they be doing, they still no match for them.
Nah.
Oh, for
No.
Reese especially, they can't even. None of them can even hit Whis.
They
Yeah.
can't even put a they can't
a
like,
finger on
they
him.
can't even put a finger on.
I
him.
noticed that in the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. He's just like dodging
Yeah.
all that
And
shit.
he's
Nobody's
laughing like, oh.
Yeah, he's
like not
untouchable.
even- yeah.
They're
Untouchable.
basically, and the only reason they chill with Earth and they're cool with us is basically like they like our food.
Yeah.
Like
That's
the
it.
purple cat, just like he just thinks our food's great, so he doesn't destroy us.
He's like best
Yeah.
food in the
Wow.
universe. He's like
Yeah.
best food in the universe. So every time they show up, every time you see him on camera, they're always
He's
gonna be
eating.
sitting there eating.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
like
where's the
that
food?
character.
And then
Yeah,
all
right.
he goes is like, yo, if you piss me off, I'm gonna just grab all the food but kill everybody. He doesn't like. That's all he cares about is the food there.
Yeah, he's like, I will take your chefs and your food with me and
I
blow up
like
the
this
planet.
guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he's either fighting, sleeping, or eating. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all
That's
Beerus
he-
does.
He's a cat.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Yep.
he's a cat.
I'm about that cat life.
There's a whole Beerus movie, just so you know.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
an entire movie dedicated just to him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, check
So-
that one out
I
next.
need to see that. From the beginning on?
Yeah,
The entire movie is all about
Did
his
you
story.
use,
who he
It
is.
don't, it don't,
Origin
get, it don't
and
give
all
him
that?
his origin story now.
It
No, we
doesn't?
don't get the
Oh,
origin
no.
story. We
Not
just
the
get
whole
the
thing.
when we get introduced to him, kinda,
Yeah.
and what he stands for.
pretty much.
I think there's gonna have to be an origin story on Beerus at some point, though,
There has to be.
because Beerus is an interesting character. Because he also has a brother. That's
Champa,
like a
who's-
fat version of him. Same
Yeah.
thing.
He's a god too.
Yeah.
Wow.
In another universe,
Yeah.
there's a lot going
lot
on.
going
This is a
here.
multiverse.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're taking it too
Yeah,
far.
yeah,
Let's
go
get
ahead,
back
go
to the
ahead,
movie.
Robbie.
I
Let's
mean,
go
I gotta get back. Yeah. So Vegeta and Goku are training over the water, and they're basically recapping how Super ended, which is like this huge tournament between all these different universes. Basically, the overall god was just like, I'm bored, so to entertain myself, all the universes, like the strongest fighters, are going to fight each other for my entertainment, and that's basically how that whole thing shook out. We won, we came out on top, we were the best, and then Goku was basically like, I see there's all these other strong fighters out here, all these other universes.
Right.
I want to keep pushing myself to get stronger. So that's
Push
the
it to the limit.
Exactly. So that's the conversation they're having at this point when they get a call upon and basically their cell phone from the kids that are just like, hey, somebody broke into the lab and stole all of your Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
And they kind of look like they're Frieza's people. So
So,
what's up with that?
I have a question for you, Tony.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Dragon Balls are for?
To make a wish.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
100%.
You
can
get
make
them all together. Dragon pops out. You can make a wish, and
Any
then
wish you want.
they're dormant for a year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
So you
pretty
get
much how
one,
that works.
One wish per year if you can get them all.
If you
Yeah.
can get them all, because they're usually
Very
in like
difficult to get.
super
Yeah.
hard to reach places.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
like
After you make a wish, they shoot up
Shoot
there
all
and
over.
they
Scatter.
they scatter
Yeah.
across the planet.
yeah.
So you gotta make it count
You got to
Exactly.
make
for
it
the
count.
year.
Yes. So so that's why they're worried that Frieza's taking him, because Frieza usually his deal is like he wants to get the Dragon Balls to wish for immortality.
Yeah.
That's usually what and so they want to stop that from happening, obviously. So they're like, all right, like, and then Vegeta and Goku go back and forth because Vegeta's just like, this is what I told you was going to happen. They brought Frieza back from the dead
Yeah.
to help them out in this tournament with
Right.
all these different universes.
Mm.
And Goku was responsible for that, and Vegeta's like, I told you this was a bad idea. Look at what's going on right now. And Goku was always just like, well, let's just go fucking stop him. Let's what I said we were
We
going to
could beat
do.
him anyways. Who cares?
Exactly, because they only had 6 of the Dragon Balls there. They're like, if we can beat him to the last one, then this isn't a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they hop on their ship and they're heading out. They kind of have this funny moment where, oh, Bulma, why were you gathering the Dragon Balls? She's like, well, I wanted to look like a little bit younger, 5 years younger. And they're just like, why not make it an even 10? It's like, well, then people notice,
Yeah.
think I had work done. I can't have that.
That's
out here.
funny.
So after that, they cut to Frieza's ship. He's having a very similar conversation.
This is so dumb.
Yeah.
Because he sent some lower level people out to go, find these Dragon Balls because he didn't want anybody to like detect that they were doing some shit. So he's got his weak guys out there. They're like, we got 6 gathered up. Like, so when you get them all together, what are you gonna wish for? And he's like, I'm gonna wish to be 5 centimeters taller.
Not inches.
Centimeters.
Centimeters.
So nobody notices.
Because he's mad short.
And this is a big change up because, like I said, his whole thing has been like immortality this whole time.
Yeah.
But while he was in hell, after he got beat, he's basically like, immortality isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Right.
Like
And
if you're wrapped up and being tortured by somebody. So
Yeah.
what I want is to be taller because, some of my soldiers are talking about
They
me
be
behind my
talking
back. It's
So-
petty.
Shake your head. You
So
don't know. But you
bad,
don't know
dog.
about that life.
Now this is the white dude with the purple head.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that's Frieza.
he looks a little different because he's got like different forms and stuff, and they bring
Yeah.
that up. They're like, if you just want to be taller, why don't you use one of your other forms that's taller? He's just like, well, because like I want to be in my natural form and feeling good about myself. He doesn't want to be.
So you know the person with the purple head here is the same one with the finger that destroyed the planet.
I was wondering. I was like,
Yeah,
well, wait.
Yeah,
who
that's
is-
the same person.
It
So
looks
that
a
was
little different.
Yeah.
So those are the different forms of Frieza. Like during the Frieza saga on Dragon Ball Z, we got to go through all the different like transformations to get Frieza to the Frieza that you saw with the purple head and the smooth body. It's like one transformation Frieza. They're like a big lizard thing, and then like a big buff dude, and then turns into that. So
Yeah.
So Goku couldn't beat Frieza 1-on-1.
No, he did.
He did.
And that's why they've got like a big problem. Is Frieza's just like, that's the one dude that's beat me.
Oh, okay,
So
gotcha.
fuck Goku and fuck Earth because
pretty much.
the one person that ever beat me is
One
from
dude.
there.
Yeah, it's like, and the way that happened is that Frieza, there's a big purpose of why I'm telling you this is that the reason that Goku beat Frieza could have beaten Goku,
Yeah.
but Frieza's an asshole. And while Frieza was fighting Goku and Goku's son and best friend were there on the planet as well, Frieza decided just to like literally explode Goku's best friend in front of him.
Oh.
And so like literally it's like boom. And so instead of whining, what Goku did is he turned into the legendary Super Saiyan. That's when his hair turned yellow for the first time. That's when he first found a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
He turned into that Super Saiyan and gave Frieza the work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like lit Frieza up.
Yeah.
One of
and-
the dopest fight scenes, I think.
Oh man. And then it's like
It's
and
so
then it
bad.
had mercy on Frieza. It was like, Frieza, it's all right, look, I already cut you up. I used your own power to cut you up. You're gonna survive though, you're okay. Here's some energy so you can be good. I'm gonna leave now. And you just stay away from all my people and just behave yourself. Frieza was like, all right, cool. And then try to shoot him in the back. And he's just like, you fool, and just
He's
like killed
"Bruh,
him.
I literally gave you the power to escape, and you would have used it just to kill me. That's how diabolical Frieza
Oh,
and petty
man.
he is.
Kill
Petty.
him.
He's
Instead of
plotting.
saying, let me recoup, get back together. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah. That's the kind of the level of pettiness we're dealing with when it
Right.
comes to Frieza.
Yeah.
But he's rebuilding his army at this point, because he's just got back to life. He's got to rebuild the infrastructure. So he's got a lot of his scouts out there looking for strong people to join the army. And that's kind of where we go to is he's got these 2 lower level people kind of out in space searching the outer rim there looking for somebody. And they come to this planet where Broly's been chilling with his dad for like the last 40 years,
Right.
just hanging out, getting strong on like bug guts and like find these dudes. And they're
Bug
just like, oh, like these 2 strong guys, like you got to join the Frieza army. And they're like, Frieza army, like you're with Frieza. Yeah. Like we're Saiyans. They're just like, so, bring us
They
on
don't know
board.
what happened at all.
They don't, because
Right.
they've been out of communication. They don't know
Yeah.
shit about any of this. But so they bring them back and show them off to Frieza, and Broly is like, this big strong guy, not too smart, super, but obviously super capable in a fight.
Yeah.
He's kind of just like he's taking things in. His dad's got this like shock collar around him to like
Right.
keep him
Yeah.
under control. Which
Can we talk about that shot collar for a second?
yeah, let's talk about it because I don't know where the fuck he got the materials to build such a
This is
thing
a plot hole, man.
on that
I
planet.
never even thought about that.
Or like, how is Broly not strong enough to rip that thing off? You know
Did you
what
not?
I mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like all the things that we saw happen with Broly in this movie, all the power, like literally punching through rock, falling through it, meeting the power level of the most powerful beings on this universe for the most part, and he has a metal ring around his neck that not only he cannot pull off, but at the same time shocks him to a point where he can't do anything. Where is it drawing its power? how did this man build this on this planet? Which is
Well, I'm only guessing that he had some of the technology from the ship. So
that's the best guess. He built it from the ship, but at the same time, what in that ship is going to be powerful enough to hold back this dude? Like, Tony? What is your impression of Broly? Like, is he a weak man?
Well, no, I saw that the collar was on, and without the collar, you can't control him. Like, you see that all the time and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
The collar, the shock treatment. And from what I can gather, like, people can be killed on this show.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, people
even though
die.
they be fighting and punching each other through mountains and lava, it seemed like they could just be killed on some regular.
If you catch,
That
like,
does
a laser,
happen.
If you catch somebody pretty much like chilling like right now, if I catch if we're all saying powerful, he's a god saying whatever,
Right.
and we just sitting there, man, yeah, yesterday, bow, and I just hit him right through the heart
Yeah.
with a easy shot. It can kill him if he's not braced for battle.
Right.
Pretty much that's kind of how.
So that's what I was piecing together.
Yeah.
Like, well, it seems like people can still be killed. And
Oh, yeah,
at
a lot
the
of
same
people-
time in
there's
fight mode, they can, And
Yeah.
then, first of all, the outfits. How
All
are they
over the place.
lasting so long?
How
They
they wash
they're
it.
getting punched through glaciers
It's
and
battled
mountains.
armors,
the
man.
outfits
It's,
just
it's battle armor that actually stretches. That's why they have it to where like for the Saiyans they had this armor where if they turn into the ape, they actually the armor actually stays around them.
Yeah, still,
They
they're
can
an
stretch
ape in armor
It's
when they
supposed
grow
to
up
be
to it.
mad
So
durable.
then when the clothes finally get torn up, you're like, oh man, that's what
Yeah.
yeah, it's real.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that was a
exactly.
good fight.
the shirt is ripped.
All their-
Exactly.
all
But
their-
it looks like just regular fabrics.
So I
Yeah.
actually read an article a while ago is that the reason why the shirt thing, you actually picked up on a real key thing here, is that when they were making the show and animating for the United States, they couldn't have blood. So instead what they did is they animated it so that the shirts represented their bodies. Like the further their shirts or their clothes are tattered, the worse condition they're in. Because even when you see them getting beat up, it's like their body doesn't have any blood on it, but their shirt will be lit up.
Shirts are just
So
be
when the
on.
shirts come off and all that kind of stuff, it's like, all right, well, this is it. This has to be the end of the fight.
Once the
Like-
shirt is completely ripped, but the pants are fully intact,
Yeah.
that's, it's been a good battle.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The
exactly.
shirt is ripped off.
And then
all
sometimes you get like the hole in the knee on the pants. That's how you know it's been.
man.
It got real.
And,
been very
and
real.
Broly never even lost his little tie around.
You know how you
Hey,
bear
bro.
sweater
sweater
around the waist?
fur.
Yeah.
He
Hey,
never
man,
lost
that
that.
was a significant blankie.
That was
Yeah.
his flannel.
And
you know
that's
how
the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the flannel wrap around.
But
The
that's the
hoodie,
thing,
yeah,
though.
tied
all,
around
all
your waist.
their gear, like they always said, like their stuff weighs like 500 pounds. It weighs like a lot of weight too. So it's like a lot of times it's weighted gear too. So a lot of the stuff is like it's heavy.
It's training shit.
It's training stuff.
Yeah.
Weighted down.
But so Frieza's happy to have them on board, and he's just like, we're rolling up to Earth. There's a couple other Saiyans there. Oh, by the way, sorry, your planet exploded. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and Paragus is just like, whatever. I didn't like King Vegeta anyway, so I don't really care. My
Yep.
planet's gone. All my people are gone. Whatever. So Frieza's just like, I need you to fuck up these two Saiyans back on Earth. And he's just like, oh, it's King Vegeta's son? Like, I'm
So
down.
pointing me in a direction.
Pretty much. He's setting his son up to like,
He held on to that beef for like 30-something years.
he's been sitting
Why
on that
wouldn't you?
planet
If
for
you see
40
it-
years.
Exactly.
But it's
yeah.
like, oh, King Vegeta's dead? Like, yeah, he's dead. And his son, who had nothing to do with this beef, is the only one alive.
Well, because the reason that Broly got sent off in the first place is
Because of his
because
son.
Vegeta
No, I
was
100% get that, but Vegeta didn't do that.
no, but he's
I'm
still
saying
it's the principle. You've been stewing on that for 40 years. Like you're gonna be mad.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, though, it's just like right now, if like somebody ran in this room right now, Rob,
Yeah.
or like came in here and looked at Tony Baker, is like, your father offended my father. We got to fight. You know what I'm saying? That's what Tony be like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't know what you're
I would
talking
definitely
about.
have a discussion with you, but I wouldn't just fight you.
I mean,
but
Broly-
this is not like offended is a different word, Brendan. Like this, he didn't offend his.
I mean,
his
but even
father.
still, like, he did some messed up stuff, but Tony didn't do it. You know
Man,
what I'm
but
saying?
this is like
We're
blood
dealing
feud
with
shit.
a petty person.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So
it.
go ahead. We got
So, so with as they're getting ready to head towards Earth, we get this little bit of Broly learning to love kind of shit going on, learning the meaning of friendship. He's got these two people that found him. One of them is this girl who is definitely trying to bed him.
Oh, she
Yeah.
definitely wants to
Don't-
smash.
like as soon as he
But her
shows up, she's
bed-
just like,
Wild, untamed
She's
smash.
like big,
She
big,
was all
strong man.
Yep. She was all in.
Yeah.
man.
Exactly. Yeah, right. So they show up into the lunchroom, and he's just immediately like, "Oh, why don't you sit with us?" And
Yeah.
her orange friend's just like, "Hey, like maybe I can buy you guys a drink or something like that," because he's interested too. It seems like, but
It was a little train action.
but apparently this is not a
No
dry
choo-choo.
ship because like this purple dude walks over drunk as fuck and is just like, "Hey, girl, like why are you sitting with these guys? Like
Yeah.
I'm
Get
the
this
strongest guy on
purple.
this ship."
Yeah.
And
purple.
Broly takes exception to that and is about to beat the brakes off this dude and probably take his life when Broly's dad is just like, all right, I got the shock collar. Hold up. This happens all the time.
Shot caller.
Just boom. It hits him with that, and he freaks out.
Yeah.
And she's just like, the girl doesn't like that at all. She's just like, how are you doing that to your son? He's just like, you don't understand. Like, if he loses it, that could be it for all of us.
Right.
She
Yeah.
didn't
Like-
care about that being her son. She was like, that's my future man.
That's what it's
Don't
all
hurt-
about.
She's
Don't
like, I
hurt
want him
babe.
to leash all the power with me.
Yeah.
That's Zaddy right there.
Yep.
Ah,
Because they would have destroyed that ship.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Ready to
And
hate
all
Zaddy.
Based on
floating-
what we see later.
Floating in space.
Oh my God! So, so Dad takes off, and while she's giving him that speech, she pickpockets the shock collar control right out of his pocket.
So
and
dope.
smashes it right there.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, "All right, cool. Like, let's get you some real food, Broly." And like, they go in the back room, and we get a little bit more of his backstory. We find out that his flannel is like, the ear of the one friend he ever had
Right.
on the
Yeah.
planet. This
this is a
big
giant monster
thing.
thing that's trying to eat him.
But his dad was just like, no, we don't have friends, okay? Saiyans don't do that.
Dead.
We don't have fun. We just train to get stronger so you can kill my enemies. That's his whole thing. So,
His father.
and meanwhile, he's having his first sip of water, like how
He was
somehow
like,
he,
what is this?
it's just
Like
water.
man.
Yeah. You ever had water before?
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Meanwhile, back on Earth, the Z fighters show up as Frieza's men are finding this last Dragon Ball, and they're just about to stop him when Frieza and all his guys show up, and they're just like, "Ah, great, thanks, we got all these Dragon Balls now." And by the way, meet this new Saiyan we just found, Broly. That's Vegeta. Why don't you guys gonna
Do the
fight?
thing,
Why
right?
don't
What's
you?
up?
Huh? Like, and then
But even they say, they were like, yo, bruh, like, we ain't got no beef with you. This ain't his problem, man. But with your dad, don't say, because he was like, bro, that ain't me. I ain't my dad, man. What you talking about?
Right.
And
Yeah.
his dad was like, get on Broly, and sent them off, and they went to work.
So
Yeah.
and Tony, actually, I want to get your impression from henceforth, if you don't mind. Like,
Yeah.
So what I would love if you could
Uh-huh.
just regale this tale of what happens at this point for you. What do you remember happening here?
From the beginning?
No,
No,
the fight.
from the fight. So
When
like
the
the
fight
fight.
first
Okay. So,
Is it
you
from the
know.
beginning?
He's like, oh, shit.
Oh, from the beginning? So, they get there, and it's like, because the face-off is coming. It's like,
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
Broly's going to have to square up with somebody. You know what I mean? And so that's when it got good to me. Like, I was like, all right. Because I don't know about Goku and Vegeta's power levels or anything like that.
Yeah.
I always hear their name, and I always see them in posts and stuff like that.
right.
So, and they've been pumping Broly up this whole time. So it's like, all right, let's see.
Yeah.
And these guys fighting at the resort. Let's see what's going on. So, Broly attacks him right away, and he's
Yeah.
just like, And Vegeta's, cocky initially.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doing all this. Oh, you
typical
quicker
Vegeta.
than I imagined. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so as they keep fighting, he's like, yo, this dude he's learning as he goes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
we've been training for this. This dude ain't even fought another person yet.
Yeah.
And still, we fight all the time. And he's still, hanging with this. It
a
was funny
natural.
to see
Yeah.
it get more and more serious for Vegeta. Like, yo, I got to go to Saiyan mode. He
Yeah.
turns that on, and it was still not enough.
Mm.
And then Goku was like, man, this is exciting. That's
That's how Goku is. Goku sees a fight, and he sees a challenge.
Yeah.
And even he's like, I can't win. But he's like, I can't win.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this is
I can't
great.
win.
Yeah.
And Vegeta's like, man, I'm turning it up, and he's matching my turn up.
Yeah.
Until it get to a point where it's just like, man, I can't even. So then Goku steps in, and he's just like, trying to hang in there, try to come with a different style. The
Yeah.
way he's trying to talk to him and freeze him and like, yo, you ain't got to do this. I can see in your eyes you ain't about this life. You just
Yeah.
a good dude at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he's like,
Yeah.
he thought about it for a minute. Like, I am a good dude. I don't want no trouble. My friend died. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Screw
Then
all
he
that.
went back into Hulk mode.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it was like, yo. And then Piccolo was on the other thing, like, hey, man, let me know if y'all need something,
So Piccolo,
He's like, I'm gonna pull up. If it get too real, I'm pulling up.
Yeah.
And
They're like,
he's
"No,
man,
don't-"
is that real? You might have to pull up.
I
Don't
feel
pull
like
up.
Piccolo
You
is
just go
sending
get-
like a courtesy text because he's like,
Yeah.
he's just like, you need help? Like, please say no. Please say no.
Exactly.
Please say no.
Man, it look like it's really going down. I can't really contribute nothing. But
now
you can
Piccolo
pull up if you
Piccolo
can.
would have
Yeah.
showed up and took one punch and been done.
Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over.
So
Goku, it's all up to you.
So yeah, it was funny seeing that. Like, he was like, man, it's going down.
Yeah.
And so when they've been fighting mad long and like tearing the planet up.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh, and so when they finally show up, to to Piccolo, and he's just like,
Oh well, no. We have one big plot point we're missing though.
Mhm.
That before that happens is like they started like when Vegeta started turning Super Saiyan and stuff, and then like the stuff started turning up, and they're like, "That's the limit of your son's strength." And he's like, "Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
true.
so." It was like,
Yeah.
"All right, you should bring him back." And then Frieza was like, "Wait a minute, hold on."
We kill-
Kills the dad.
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that."
how'd you feel
'Cause
about that?
He was just instigating it on. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He was just watching. They standing there with the Dragon Balls. He was like, "Oh, that's it." He was like, "Yeah, I think that's it." Oh, there's more. And
Yeah,
then
because he
kept coming
thought back. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he instigating. He's like, "Oh yeah."
I know what Saiyans do when they get angry when
Yeah.
somebody lose somebody close to them.
Yeah.
Man,
So-
Because
he
she
was
saw
like-
him turn it. She saw
and then Pops, this is Instigation City. I'm
Yeah.
like, who is this instigator right here?
Frieza,
Yeah.
man.
It was funny.
Man.
Frieza was like, "Look, one of the beams has hit your father."
Oh, what a
Man.
terrible accident.
Oh
Yeah.
no! What are you gonna do about
Get
it? Bet
to
you don't
the
hit him
next
though.
level. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it was funny though when they left to meet up with Piccolo. They left
Frieza, yeah.
Yeah.
Frieza there. And he was getting this work. He
Yeah.
was getting
understand?
socked up.
But, so I don't know if you understand the time frame of how long Frieza got his ass whooped for.
Oh, I do because as they were trying to figure out the move,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
fusion
dance
he's
dance.
like, you
Fusion
gotta
dance.
wait 30 minutes because you fumbled. So he just get hours of just
Hours,
getting
dog.
macked up. And he tried to
Slammed.
turn gold. It was like, yeah, I'm about to. And then he was still getting socked up. And they over here like, nah, man, y'all ain't get the fingers right.
Yeah.
That was funny to me. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was like, y'all came in, it was crooked.
Yeah.
They would zoom in on the finger.
Yeah.
And they would just,
Get the NFL like
that
play
was
by
mad
play.
funny.
Like,
Yeah.
So that tells you number one how powerful Frieza is. Number
Yeah.
two how diabolical Frieza is because Frieza the reason I brought up what happened with Goku's friend earlier blew him up, turned into the Super Saiyan the first time. Frieza knows that now. It's like,
Right.
oh, if you do this to a Saiyan, then they go crazy.
Right.
Yeah, they go
And
crazy.
I got destroyed by this, so let me go ahead and do it now, like make that happen. But that also for me tells me like Frieza's super powerful because Frieza lasted longer in that fight than Goku or Vegeta did.
yeah.
I'm just saying because Goku and Vegeta both got into they fights.
Yeah.
We didn't have a specific sense of time,
Yeah.
but we watched the fight. You know
But
what
we
I'm saying?
don't know how long that fight was.
I
though.
mean, we watched it.
Yeah,
that
but
don't
like,
mean, that doesn't mean we got the true concept of time. That fight wasn't 20 minutes.
yeah, and Goku and Vegeta, they were like trading blows with Broly.
No, they
Yeah.
were.
That was a one-way street
Yeah.
coming
It was-
all from
it was
Broly
literally
towards,
just-
towards
Broly
Frieza.
was tearing him up.
Oh yeah, Broly. Like that was.
I didn't see him
the
doing
pass
no
off.
work.
The
No.
pass off was the best part. Like, have fun, Frieza.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah.
boop, gone.
That was
Gone.
mad funny. And then they come in, the Piccolo, like, whoo, they was toe up when they pulled up. So then they came in.
Yeah,
And once
Piccolo's
they
like, I
did
see your
that,
shirt. You must have been in a tough battle.
Man, the shirt is ripped off. Like, man. And so to see, what they turned into, once they turned into him, though, it was
Gogeta.
it was
Gogeta.
one-sided.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's the first
much.
time that character's ever showed up in the show because there's an opposite version of him called Vegito.
Yeah.
Because there's two different ways to do fusion. One way is through the dance that they just did.
Yeah.
Another way is they have these like super
Earrings,
earring
yeah.
things that one person puts one on the right or
Uh-huh.
the other puts the left and they just get joined. But those are supposed to last forever.
Yeah.
So
But
that
they changed
happened
that
one-
whole arc, yeah.
Yeah, but that happened before. So they were like, we've done it before, but we've never done the dance thing before.
Yeah.
So they
They've
did
done
the
the
dance.
dance before in another movie. So there's another movie with Jennifer with that new character.
Oh, yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
So like pretty much like this I guess this movie kind of negates a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a time when we as fans you know who Gogeta is already.
Yep.
But at this particular point, it's like you're not supposed to.
Right.
So they do the dance, it happened, and he's supposed to be maybe as close as powerful as Vegeta. Maybe Vegeta's a little bit more powerful.
I know,
but
Vegito never turned Super Saiyan Blue, so.
Yeah, he did.
yeah, he did.
Oh, he
yeah,
did?
when
He
he
did
fought
against Zamasu.
Zamasu.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He
forgot
did.
about
Yeah,
that
that's
whole
right.
arc. I'll shut
Yeah.
up. All right.
Yep.
As I
so,
was.
So yeah, they get back, they go fight. Yeah, it's pretty much one sided, and he's just having fun.
Yeah.
He's whooping ass.
He never looked like he was on the ropes whatsoever.
No.
So I was like, oh, this dude is and it was side to take it back. It was funny how Vegeta didn't like the dance move.
No.
This is so stupid. That's funny.
Yeah, he's literally like, I'd rather die.
Yeah.
Like, let Broly kill me. I don't want to
Yeah.
do this dance
These
move.
dance moves, man.
I remember you brought up an interesting point before the show. How you said you were like, man, it's taking them so long to tag team this dude. Why it took them so long to tag team these dudes? As Saiyans, they take pride in fighting one-on-one.
Yeah.
So that's why, especially these two in particular, like they're like, nah, bro. Like Vegeta's like, bro, I don't need your help
Right.
at all. I
Yeah.
can always do this by myself. I don't even want your help, Goku.
Especially Goku's
Especially
help.
Goku of all people.
Yeah.
So even when they jumped him, it was still just like,
Yeah.
They're like, all right, at
Man.
this point, we got to do this. And they're like, fuck, I guess we do. And then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, this still isn't enough.
Yeah.
We got to become one.
But I mean, this fight, when you're saying, it was this time it's one-sided going towards Broly. Like Broly is catching the work from Gogeta, like to the point where like, and this fight is crazy. I mean, when their beams hit, like they shattered reality. It looks like. They go to, like,
they was in another
crazy
dimension for a little bit. I'm like, where are they at? Like they was in a crystal of some sort.
Right.
That's
and then they went back to the desert. It was like they kept changing like climates.
It went from like the Arctic to some lava shit to like a different dimension to the desert. Like this has got to be contributing to like climate change in some kind of degree, right?
Absolutely.
Like the Amazon forest actually isn't burning, guys.
Big time.
What's really happening?
It's a Saiyan fight.
It's a Saiyan fight.
Big time.
But it's, I mean, and it's to the point where like while this is all going on, the girl is just like, they're about to kill my man out there, and I even had a chance to smash, so I gotta get.
I'm trying to get this Brawly penis.
Right, so she's like, I gotta snag these Dragon Balls real quick before things get out of hand.
Yeah.
And so they summon the dragon while this fight's going on.
Right.
And she's got this, Frieza's dude at gunpoint, just like, say the words. And so they make the wish to like, let's send Broly back to his planet where he grew up on and just like get this whole thing out of here.
He was dead.
Yeah.
They were like, Vegeta
They had to finish move on him.
Yeah, Gogeta was about to blow him away.
And he knew it too. You see the look in his eye. He was just,
Yeah.
And he disappeared and woke up. Was like,
Oh,
she gonna get all this dick.
That's probably the first time you saw fear in Broly's eyes that whole time. Too.
Yep.
Yeah. The whole time he was in the aggressor the whole time. He was like, all right, shit, this is over.
Yeah. He was like,
okay, this is.
So I have
a good run.
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Each of you, I'd like to know what was your favorite part of the fight, because there's so many things that happen in that fight. There's so many progressions. There's so many things that happen. So I'll start if you guys want. You can think about it, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
My favorite part is a two-parter. Was just the general progression from when it started off, like the first hit when Vegeta smiled at him.
Yeah.
Then just seeing him go from like base level to Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan, do all that kind of stuff was dope. So I like that. But the part of the fight that I liked the most actually was when Goku turned into Super Saiyan God with the red hair the first time and was doing pretty much like Tai Chi to my man.
Yeah.
He's like, he'd come at him and he just move his energy and just put him into the ground like, hey man, like it's cool.
Right.
Like we're good, man, no worries. And just like keep face planting him into the ground. I was like, nah, man, we're good. Up until obviously Broly was like, oh, I get this Tai Chi and did it back to him, and he's like, oh,
and then slammed him around like the fucking Hulk.
Yeah. That was pretty.
That's when his outfit got tore up.
Yeah. So that was my favorite part. Is like when Goku was like, let me pull out this Tai Chi, and Broly didn't know what to do with it. So that was my favorite part.
Rob.
My favorite part is actually just a little character moment when they finish up the Vegeta's first fight with him, and he's got Broly against the ropes, and Vegeta's just like, I'm about to end this right now.
Yeah.
Like he just says like, what a waste. And that moment between like him and Goku, where Goku's like, you don't have to do this, because like as we know, he's about to tell him like, I don't think this guy is really our enemy. But Vegeta's just like, nah, we got to ice this guy right now.
Yeah, Vegeta is ruthless.
Yeah, but
Vegeta comes from killing though. He's a killer.
Yeah.
He's a
Goku's
killer who
not a
softened up.
Yeah.
But I mean, as far as the action goes, though, probably my favorite moment. I don't know. Damn, that is a good one. But there's that moment where, also in the Vegeta fight, where you see everything like through the first person view of
into the mountains, like going and fighting them and stuff like that.
From
POV,
Broly, and you've got like the first person shooter like aspect of he's just like, you see just his hands and shit, and he's just charging through the mountain. Yeah, that was really cool. I think that's probably my favorite part.
Dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say to me that one of my favorite parts was the POV, because in Dragon Ball we never saw that before. I don't know if in anime we saw that before like that.
In anime, yeah.
But the way in Dragon Ball, like we never saw a POV shot, and it was so beautifully animated. And I'm with Brennan on this. I think my favorite fight scenes in this was with Vegeta.
Yeah.
Like, I like Vegeta's fight scenes more than Goku's.
I'll admit to that too, because I really got excited, even though I don't know the characters like that. My excitement level peaked at the beginning of the fight.
Yeah.
When he started attacking Vegeta, and the way he was handling it was like, oh, okay.
And Vegeta came off.
Vegeta
like,
ain't no punk.
He had the cape on with his knees up. He was like, all right, let's do this. And he smacked him around, like, all right, bro, back up, bro.
Let me take off the jacket. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So, and I like seeing, and I also like seeing people's temperament change, like throughout the fight. Like he was cocky, like, but then he was like, oh, this dude is for real.
He's learning right now.
Because I like formidability when I watch stuff. And that's what I like about anime and like just Asian cinema.
Yeah.
They always make the fights epic.
Yeah.
Like American movies and stuff like that, they always make the villains super dope in the beginning, and then by the end they don't keep that same energy.
Yeah.
Bane, bruh.
Yeah.
Bane.
There's all kind. I can go on.
There's
and
so
on
many, but that's one
about
that hurts me the
dudes
most.
That get introduced and then
So
at
true.
the final battle, like man, that was it.
Yeah.
But then when you got the karate movies and all this stuff, they barely beat the villain, if at all.
Yeah.
Or they lose people. The hero died to beat the villain.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
sacrifices and stuff
It's
like
always
Man.
yeah, and that's what I love about Japanese anime is because of that reason. It's like
Mhm.
there's way more stakes.
Right.
Me personally, I like it more than American cartoons.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
But yeah, so your favorite?
My favorite moment was the beginning of the fight, really. And
Yeah.
just to see, it go down and when he first came at Vegeta. I like that Vegeta fight for some reason.
Yeah,
A
and it was
lot.
cool because
Yeah.
he went through all his levels.
Yeah.
Kind of just like, all right,
He was
cool. I
building
can turn
up,
it
then
up.
we were
Yeah.
learning about Broly at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
oh,
He
okay.
went through the level, but I think you made a great point. Literally, Vegeta, and he's been the most. I think he's grown the most on this show, particularly. Like, I think we all can agree with that to a point. Like, he's actually probably grown the most when it comes character wise.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even in this particular fight, like you said, he went from like, all right, bruh, then all right, fam, then,
Yeah.
oh shit, fam, then all right,
Yeah.
this is real. Like he went from like, so I think that's what made his whole fight scene a lot better than Goku's.
Mhm.
What did you think about like the animation style? Like out of the anime that you have seen, what do you think about this animation style? How it looked like graphic wise?
It looks good. Like, it looked good. And I noticed, some real animation work on one of the explosion type scenes. I was like, man, they really
I think when he
took
put
it there.
his own like that big old green ball that he shot, like the animation on that was just beautiful. Like that
Yeah.
360, like
It was dope.
Yeah.
It was dope. Even the Dragon Ball game that I have on PlayStation is amazing.
You have Dragon Ball Z Fighters?
Mhm.
Yo, that,
Oh, that's a fun one.
wait. You good at that?
No, I don't really play it like that.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
amazing
they play.
Yeah.
because you're playing an actual anime.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super
Yeah,
cool.
it does
So
look
it's
amazing.
super fun. Like, I
Yeah.
remember I first played it, I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And they take it there. You
Oh, they
doing
do.
the big build up and the just
There's
regular
dramatic
stuff within
finishes
the
and
fight.
stuff. Yeah.
Rob's
Yeah.
really good at that game.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh man, I was online last night getting my ass kicked.
Online is just
It's another
no
level.
different ball.
I don't even
It's-
like fighting people online because it's just
it's
you think you're
crazy.
winning and getting over. I need to fight you in person.
Yeah.
I feel like you got a cheat code over there wherever you at.
Anytime I play
It's
online,
the lag. It's the
yeah,
lag. Right?
it's something.
and I play online, I be like, man, you got too much time on your hands. I got a life.
Right. Because I'm good at
Yeah.
fighting games.
Yeah.
But then when you play it, you're like,
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's a totally different level. But to just wrap up with what happens with the movie, so Broly gets beamed back to his planet. His two friends get on their ship and they try to skedaddle out of there. Frieza's about to take him out when Gogeta just grabs him. He's just like, nah, you're going to let them go.
Yeah.
yeah.
For whatever reason, he lets Frieza go too. Frieza's
Yeah.
just like, all right, well, I'll be back. And just takes off, leaves his ship behind, all his people. He just takes off.
He don't care. He's selfish.
Yeah, it's
Well, Frieza can survive in space too, so.
Yeah.
But everything's so they're Broly's two friends are heading off, and they're just like, well, I guess we're out of the Frieza gang at this point. And they're kind of like, well, what are you gonna do after this? And she's like, well, I think I'm gonna track that guy down and
smash.
spend some time with him. You want me to drop you off somewhere? And he's like, nah, I think I'll come along and hang out with you
Well,
guys.
let's go grab some
Yeah.
food
Yeah.
and supplies.
It's like third wheeling over here,
Yeah.
man. Like,
I'm
we're
just
not
gonna-
looking for company.
I'm just gonna watch.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
wants
Right.
to watch.
Sit over there in the corner. Maybe I get a turn or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it my turn next? No,
The
I don't
worst-
want you, girl. I want Broly.
Exactly.
Oh Lord Jesus, I can't.
So they show up on his planet, and as they're getting set up, and he's just like, all right, well, here's all the bugs we eat. You can be eating these pretty much exclusively.
Yeah.
Goku shows up using his instant transmission. He's just like, hey, and they're suspicious at first. He's like, I'm not here to fight.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm here to help. You guys seem real cool. Frieza's a bad guy. Here's literal housewarming presents.
Yeah.
He
Right.
tells them all
Here's
about the
literally a
Capsule Corp
house.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sets them up with some water, a bathroom, so they're
Yeah.
not digging a hole out in the desert or whatever. Do their business. And he basically just tells them like, hey, like maybe you let me show up every once in a while. We can we can spar and train, and they're just like, yeah, all right, yeah, I guess that's cool.
Yeah.
But the one other thing that happens is Frieza's out there in space still doing his diabolical stuff, and his people are just like, so are we going to track down Broly? And I thought this was interesting considering, Keenan, you recently chose Frieza as your most overrated anime character.
Yeah.
And this solidified that for me because he's basically like, he says to this dude, we better find Broly because he admits I'm never going to beat Goku and Vegeta. He basically says like they're always ahead of me. The only way I'm going to keep up with those guys is if I lock down this Broly guy and get him onto my side.
Yeah.
But doesn't seem like things are going to go well on that aspect because Goku's already making inroads with his friends here over here.
Yeah, I think the only way that happens is if he either gets the Dragon Balls and puts a spell on them, or he gets he finds another collar himself and somehow a more powerful collar and puts it on Broly. That's
Yeah. But it seems like, they're kind of going to be cool at this point. Like once
Yeah.
the movie's over, like if they bring Super back, like they could have Broly kind of in the bullpen, like almost like a Wolverine type character, like breaking glass in case of emergency. We got to go get Broly over here, so.
He just snaps.
Why don't they just do the every time?
That's a good question. Well,
remember how they are.
It's humiliating.
They
doesn't
don't
want to.
Yeah, to them, they don't. That's not their thing. They don't like each other. They like each other.
There are
but
characters that do that, though. Actually, Goku and Vegeta both have sons that are about the same age, and they always do that.
They always
Yeah.
do.
fusion.
They're powerful
That's-
in a mug too.
Yeah, they're super powerful.
Only when they're together. Separately, they're complete trash.
Yeah. But together,
As kids,
Trunks is cool.
as a kid,
They're okay.
as an adult, he's incredible. But I'm saying like when they're the kids, like they've never been given an opportunity.
They
to
never
do
been. Yeah, they get.
All they do is fight each other.
Yeah,
pretty
true.
much.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
So they have people that do it, but
Yeah.
those
Right.
two don't.
All right, so I have two things I want to do, guys. I want to be able to get everybody's closing thoughts, and then one thing that we do is a new thing, right, Keenan?
Yeah, we rate.
We rate it. So one thing that's about Dragon Ball Z is that there's one of the most iconic moments in Dragon Ball Z is how does it happen? Power level 9,000. That's when they find out Goku's power level.
what's his power level? It's over
Over
9,000.
So they pretty much use those scouters that we were talking about. The ones that
Oh,
Frieza
yeah.
gave them and find out that Goku has a power level that's just over 9,000. Like that's ridiculous. This is broken.
At
And
that
they break
time,
it.
yeah.
At that time, it was ridiculous. So they just broke the scouter and threw it on the ground.
Right.
But it's just so dramatic that it's like became like one of the calling cards of the show. Anybody watches any Dragon Ball Z, you'd be like 9,000. They'd be like ah,
Yeah.
because it was just so dramatic. So what we did is we made a rating scale that goes from 0 to 9,000.
Oh wow.
So it's pretty much like
a lot of real estate.
a lot of real estate. So what we like to do is at the end of every series or every show that we do, we like to give our final thoughts and then give our rating for the show. Keenan, show us how it's done.
So for me, getting a chance to rewatch this movie, I would give it. I think the movie still. I think the story was okay. I think the animation was top level.
Right.
I think the fight scenes were top level because sometimes in Dragon Ball, what they'll do is they'll get very, very lazy with the fighting, and it was have them like zooming back and forth. You
Yeah.
can see a bunch of just really just lines, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you see all the fighting, you see all the animation. They did the POV shot for the first time. It just looks so beautiful. So to me, that actually helped it out a lot. So I gave it like a 72 to 7,500
Okay.
out of 9,000.
All right.
Pretty good.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Rob, you want to?
Watching it for a second time, because I remember walking out of theater like, man, that was fun. And I still feel like it was a fun movie,
Yeah.
but I didn't enjoy it as much the second time, I'll say. Because, like, especially at the beginning, I'm kind of just like, all right, let's just get to it. And then with the fight,
That's true. Yeah.
like, by the time you get to Gogeta, like, they've been throwing so much flashy stuff at you. To be honest, I was a little numb to it at that point, which is,
Yeah.
I think, why I feel like the earlier parts of the fight are so much more memorable.
Yeah.
And like you're dealing with a power level on that, like at that point, it's like, yeah, they're breaking reality, and it's just kind of like, what am I even looking at?
Yeah.
But that being said, it's still cool animation. It looks gorgeous. I give it like a 6 out of 9,000.
All right.
6,000 or 6?
6,000.
I was like, shit, Rob.
Woo!
6,000.
out of 9,000.
Yeah. All right.
So that's what I give it. What about you,
Well, yeah,
Brandon?
let's have Tony go
Let's
last.
go. Let's have Tony go last.
Yeah.
All right. So before we even watch this, I know we were talking about it, and I already had like my issue with the Dragon Ball Z movies, or this movie in particular, is the story. Is that this story really boils down to like my dad had beef with your dad, so now we got beef.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have issue with that. Like I'm like there's not enough depth to it. There's just like a green girl that wants some Broly dick, and just like some pretty much like it's fan service. What I was looking for when this movie came out is that Dragon Ball Z has such an established base. They have so many people that love it. They've already made so much money. They could have put out a movie that did anything, even with a character like Broly, who's already existed in previous versions of the movie and previous versions of the show. They could have done a lot. And for me, they played it safe here. They did all they did was fan service. Like, we just want to see these dudes fight, and that's it. Like, but for me, I definitely think that they definitely pulled it off when it came to the fight. But when it came to the story, I think they had a lot of opportunity to be able to do something they haven't done yet. To be able to see Goku actually develop for the first time as a character never really happened. He's been the same dude since Dragon Ball.
True.
To be able to see Vegeta actually win something for once, he never does that. To be able to see Goku's children actually participate in a fight in a meaningful way, to be able to see Chi-Chi in this, to be able to have any kind of actual semblance of a story within this universe that actually does matter and have stakes to it. They didn't do that.
Yeah.
And so for me, like when I went and saw the movie, I felt the same way as Rob. I was like, yo, this is a good time.
Yeah.
I had a good time. My adrenaline went up because of the movie, because the fights they did stuff with the fight. They took the risks with the fight.
Yeah.
You know, they're like this first person view stuff and like, let's go into the other dimensions and all that. They did all that. But I feel like they could have taken away maybe like a quarter of the fighting, just a quarter of those animations, and then instead of paying animators for a quarter of that fight, you pay writers. And say, look, let's actually take a risk here to be able to have something people can fight about. Because the thing is, like, we watched this whole movie and we don't have anything to negotiate.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have anything to argue about. We don't have nothing. It's just like, and I saw it. So for me, that is the biggest whole thing holding this movie back. And I actually agree with Rob's rating. I give this a 6,000. Only because for me, nostalgia really hits hard, and especially in the beginning of this movie, seeing Little Radix, seeing Raccoon with hair, you know what I'm saying? Seeing stuff like that. I was just like, this is really cool.
Nappa.
And Nappa, I'm sorry, Nappa, not Raccoon. Nappa with hair. And then also seeing like Bardock and King Vegeta being able to talk and interact and like how they were. For me, that was huge nostalgia because it's something I've always wanted to see. And they could do an entire movie just in that space without Vegeta, without Goku, without any of them, and seeing Bardock coming up or King Vegeta coming up or the time that King Cold came and took over, you know, the Saiyans, or like stuff like that. I would be like, this is what I want to see.
Yeah.
But we got fan service. We got the safe bet. We got them doing the Hollywood thing and cashing in on the money, 6,000.
I mean, they made a lot of money off
Yeah.
They
it.
did. They cashed in on it. So I'd say they did what they were supposed to do, 6,000. But I want to see more.
Hopefully they do that with another movie coming out. I feel like it was very, and we know Hobbs and Shops came out afterwards. It was very Hobbs and Shaw in the sense of like all action. Story,
Yeah.
but action.
Did you see Hobbs and Shaw?
I saw Hobbs and
Man,
Shaw.
it was ridiculous.
Yeah. So
But
Tony,
you haven't even seen the last few Fast movies, have you?
I've seen all of them.
Oh, well, you never back me up in the group chat when I bring up the Fast movies. He never says anything. Everybody else be like, never seen him. He never came in.
Dang, Keenan.
So Tony, what were you? Somebody coming into this without
Never-
a lot.
Right,
Right.
What
All
were
right,
your
so I'm
takeaways
coming
here?
in fresh.
Give
Yeah.
us the takeaways.
So I knew going in that the story was simple. Like there was no stakes,
Yeah.
no real stakes. It was like, oh, it's simple. You know, everything was just simple as far as that. And I could tell everything was set up for just the big fight, rather than stakes attached to the fight. And so I could tell that even coming in with fresh eyes. But the fight was good though. The fight. I mean, once they started fighting, it was a long time. And then I get numb. Like I get numb when it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, because there were no stakes within.
Yeah.
And so it was that John Wick 3 effect. Like by
Right.
the time they got to the raid guys, I was just like,
Man, they
nose
undersold those
bleeding, I
raid
was foaming
guys.
at the mouth.
Yeah, they did. They definitely
They
did.
undersold the shit out of the raid dudes.
Yeah, it
I
was
was-
just like
I was so disappointed in that scene.
I was by that time I was already like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So that's why I kind of like always like John Wick 2 better than 3 because that fight.
We're
with
gonna have to
Common
argue about that.
And then, anyway, so I felt that, but at the same time, it was very easy to watch being a fresh-eyed person. I understood, pretty much what was going on. Y'all made everything more clear, but I still felt like I had a pretty good grasp of what was going on.
Yeah.
And so, and I got to give them credit for that, like bringing somebody in that didn't know anything and still being entertained. I was like, all right,
There's a lot
And
of girlfriends.
I think that was the main thing because I know as fans we wanted probably more,
Right.
but it made more sense. This is like their biggest, I think push out for a movie in years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they were like, all right, we're trying to get everybody. We can't
Right.
we can't just do all fan service in the sense of like we gotta make this digestible for people that have never seen this before.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they succeeded with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as a diehard fan, you could be like, it's like when I watch comic book movies and it's like me watching the Wolverine Origins.
Yeah.
The people that didn't come up reading is like, oh, it was good. I'm like, no, it was not.
Tony
It was
hates,
horrible.
Tony hates my guts.
Oh, the fact that y'all like that, I'm just disgusted.
I just said it's not terrible.
I didn't like that movie. at
Oh
all.
man. Anyway, so but for me, I was like, all right, it was cool. You know, a little weak up to, the build up in the stakes. So I gotta give it a 65.
Okay.
65.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 65 Hunter.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
respectable.
Yeah.
Respectable score.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, and
that's kind of what I expected from Tony.
And what's
Yeah.
fun is what I think is fun is that we actually all three of us had a big debate, which we included you in. Is when we were like, hey, let's get Tony on the show, and you're like, yeah, let's do it. Like, well, what do we have him watch? Because we had two movies. We were gonna
Yeah.
pick one of the movies. Is this movie or is My Hero Academia? And it was a hard choice because I still stand by, and I think Rob does too, is that My Hero overall is definitely a better movie.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely.
I gotta still watch.
You
it
haven't
yet.
even seen it yet.
Yeah, I gotta watch it.
You'll enjoy it. It's good.
You should see it though. We should do this again, Tony. Like you gotta
Yeah.
come
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for coming through, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
man.
appreciate you, man.
It's a good time.
And I'm glad you actually enjoyed the movie because that's always that kind of nerve. It's like, all right, you bringing somebody on, and be like, shit was ass. Hour and 30-something minutes, my time
I
wasted.
want my life back.
Right.
Hey, it would have been perfect because he was late. He didn't watch it all on time, and then he didn't like it. He would have fit right in.
He would have
for
been.
what
He
we're used to.
literally would be Ice.
He would have been Ice.
It was trash.
Ice is our guy who just hates
He
everything.
hates
Yeah.
it all.
Everything.
And then when we hate something, it wasn't actually that bad. It was actually.
So he just wants to go against the grain.
yeah, he trolls. He trolls
Can't
hard.
trust him there.
Well, not according to him.
No, if you ask him, he's like, "No, I'm just telling him. I'm speaking my heart,
Speaking my truth.
People
My
just
truth
be
is-
trying to stand out.
bruh." You already know what it is. So, Keenan.
So yeah, we want to give everybody's handles.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
And we gotta. I think actually after this episode airs, the fans, we need you to vote for the next anime that we're gonna watch.
Yeah.
So how do you guys want to do it? You said you wanted to actually pick a few, or you want to
No, we just let them. Just give them suggestions. To
All right, fans, give us suggestions. The anime with the most suggestions will be the one that we watch. All right. So make sure y'all give us suggestions that you think of
YouTube
an anime is
comments,
dope.
Instagram comments.
Yeah, hit us on YouTube, hit us on Instagram, hit us on Facebook. So let us know. You can hit us all personally too. You know you all have our personal accounts on there also. Let us know, and we'll tally up to see which anime got the most votes, and that'll be the one we watch.
If y'all give us another gangster, I'm never
Yeah,
gonna forget.
y'all
Never
motherfuckers
again.
on the hot seat, bro, because y'all gave us gangster.
So on
And
that
I-
scale from 0 to 9,000, what was your rating for gangster? We didn't do it yet, but what would you rate gangster?
When I would rate gangster, I might rate gangster like a 300.
Rob?
300?
Yeah.
Or 3,000?
300.
Woo!
I'll give that one a 6.
600.
No, 6.
1,000?
No, 6.
Oh, just
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
I
giving
don't-
it a
yeah.
6.
So my original thought was gonna be 500.
yeah.
It was really bad.
It was bad.
It's
they
not
got
good.
that dope title and they just
It's-
squandered it.
so
Gangster
bad.
with an A, not with an ER.
Oh,
Gangsta.
Yeah.
Trash.
It's not good.
So, actually, I think OG Anime Head was like, man, I ain't taking the blame for that shit because he hit me up. He was like, I ain't taking the blame for that shit. So yeah. So y'all let us know. Put the votes in.
Can I just say, I'm going to suggest one per person because sometimes people send us recommendations for
Like
animes and
30.
it's like a list of like 20 shows.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. You only
so
get
one.
one. You get to recommend one anime. to
recommend
us.
one anime. We're gonna tally up the most, whatever gets the most votes. And yeah, make it count, y'all. Y'all on the hot seat right now. Brendan came off a good one, Demon Slayer.
Yep.
I think
You
I came
know.
out. I think I'm winning on rating wise.
Well, it's not really fair because you've done 3. We only done 1. So
What 3?
you recommended Demon Slayer. You recommended whatever the first one you recommended. You the first one to recommend.
Was it Yu?
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think you recommended another one in there.
Shampoo?
Might have been
Shampoo. Yeah, that was it.
So of course that's. But yeah, let us know. We will be judging your asses. I'm telling you, bro. I'm going in too, and I'm gonna call out the people that picked their anime the most. I'm
Yep.
gonna
All
personally
of
be
you,
like,
all
yo,
of
write
you
them
will be held
down.
accountable.
that was y'all that did this. Blame them.
I'm
So
all for the call out.
y'all want to give y'all
Yeah.
y'all handles? Go
Yeah,
ahead,
you can start with me. RV Danger on Instagram, RV Danger 44 on Twitter.
Mr. Brennan,
At Mr. Producer Face on the gram. At Brennan Edwards Official on Facebook.
Mr. Other Baker.
Tony Baker Comedy on everything. Tony Baker Comedy on all of it. Even
Follow him, you know.
tight ass
All right, this man hit a
Facebook.
milestone today. He doesn't want me to talk about, but congratulations either way.
No,
Thanks, man.
he hit 1 million.
He hit
was
1
gonna say,
million
yeah, he
followers
hit 1
on
million
Instagram.
followers.
Big
Thanks,
deal.
guy.
Look at his soul go.
Yeah, he don't even like talking about. He's like, I don't want to talk
I'm
about
about
it.
to delete the account.
Delete
That was my plan. Hit him
Shut
up,
it down.
Delete
That'd be
the page.
hilarious.
Leave him
That was
wanting
it.
more, man. Always leave him wanting
Yep,
more.
that's it.
All right, Jerry.
Seinfeld,
I was about to
going
say,
on.
all right, Jerry.
So yeah, follow Tony, man. You know he's got the voiceover game on lockdown. You know he got the movie reviews. You know we did Tony Baker and
Yeah,
Keenan
aight.
Baker conspiracy theories. He's got a lot of content out there. One of the best stand-ups out in the game right now.
Yeah,
Make
he's
sure you
funny.
follow Tony Baker. I am Keenan Baker on everything.
No relation.
No relation.
Well, it could be a relation.
Yeah, we know. There
Never
actually
know.
could be a relation between us. We
You
don't
never
know.
know.
We got to do the
23andMe.
research.
23andMe.
So we thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all follow ICE, the eye exam. I always forget how to spell it, but it'll be tagged in there. So follow ICE also. And we thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of AnimeSHUN. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out.
Peace.
And so anime was solved forever.